Hello, welcome to another video, and I kind of want to just talk about what's happening with Xbox right now. Xbox has had a whirlwind of the last couple days. It's weird because I'll come out on record and just say I'm not really I don't know what they call themselves. Someone that's so on Xbox that they hate PlayStation, or someone so much on PlayStation that they hate Xbox. But when I was younger, that kind of thing, it was what it was. We were like 14 years old making fun of, everyone that was on PlayStation 3. But this has slowly kind of like built up whenever there's new console launches. Obviously, there's some bit of, oh, my plastic box that I play my video games on is better than yours. When in reality, it's like, play video games how you want to play and have fun. Honestly, couldn't care less if you do it on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, whatever you want. So this weekend, it was reported by like journalists and everything, like gaming journalists and leakers. There's an Xbox leaker that I follow that has made it seem like it's kind of bad news. Like they haven't came out and said anything because no one knows. Xbox hasn't said anything themselves. And what's kind of like making the situation like feel worse and worse is that they announced that their president, I believe it is, at Xbox is going to speak about the future and their market or their strategic plan kind of thing going forward. That will be in spring. And the reports basically just said that, yeah, Xbox is just gonna basically not 100%. A lot of Xbox games, exclusive games, were going to make the switch to PlayStation, Nintendo, be more third-party like. Which has a lot of people worried. And being honest, I think they have a lot of rights to be worried for the simple fact of, like, the games that were listed, they were big Xbox exclusives. The biggest one that I saw on a list was the Master Chief Collection. So basically all of the good times of Halo and, like, the Halo Legacy, all this is going to just all of a sudden be on PlayStation. According to, like, these reports and what the games that were listed, that, I'm assuming Xbox, with this whole idea, they're thinking about this idea and everything, and these were just games that they thought about. That's my assumption. But some other games were Sea of Thieves, Starfield, the upcoming Doom game they said that was being talked about being, released on PlayStation, which this whole overall thing seems like it can be good for the overall gamers, and just for the simple fact of people will not be shut out of playing certain games. If people that have PlayStation could play Halo, like if everyone could play, and if Xbox people could play God of War or something, that would be the perfect world. And this kind of just makes it start to feel like a big slap in the face to a lot of Xbox fans and people that have stuck with Xbox. Me being that I just switched back with the Series X, it doesn't really affect me too much, is what it is. Like, at this point, it's like, yeah, maybe I do wish I had a PS5 so I could be playing PS5 exclusives and then just wait on some things, or even just play on my PC. Like, at this point, like, obviously, everything would work better if I had a PlayStation. But I don't feel that slighted. But if people that, like, went through the terrible Xbox One launch and that cycle, and then had all this hope and everything with the Series X, everything was going well. They were acquiring Bethesda. Big deal. They're going to have the big Bethesda games on there. They have Halo. The new Halo is coming out. It looked great. It looked back to Halo. While I don't think the Series X fully just, like, fumbled it, I think Halo Infinite getting pushed back a year obviously hurt. The first year of Halo Infinite was a little, dicey, which definitely hurt it. Starfield, it's hit or miss for people. I understand why people enjoy it. It's just not, it didn't jive with me, is what it is. But a lot of these factors make it seem like the Xbox Series X in general, like this console generation, is underperforming. And a lot of the games in general, like this whole generation have like seemed like there hasn't been nearly as many as like even PS4, Xbox One time, especially not 360, PS3 time. It creates so many questions for the future of Xbox, which that's when you can get so many conspiracies and theories out there that have people fucking saying random stuff. Because people are now worried about, like, is Xbox just gonna say screw it with consoles? Because if they're releasing Halo on on a PlayStation for that matter, which would just be so insane. I can't say that enough. How crazy it would be to play Halo on a fucking PlayStation. But if they're going all like that full, they're going the full 9 yards. Or they're taking the whole thing that far. What's the point of making a console at that point? If you're gonna put that much money into creating a console, everyone can just play your games on a different one while playing the exclusive games for that console on there as well. And that's people worried that if they're not gonna make a console, then maybe they'll just say go the full thing and go a third-party video game developer. Which I understand the worry for that if they do go this way. We don't know for sure if they are or not. But it really does make it seem like, what's the point of making consoles if you're not making games for the console? I think Xbox is at a point where they're just kind of in a rough spot. But I was playing with one hand, leave me alone. The Xbox One put them back so far in this console, like the console war I was hiding, that they had so much ground to catch up. And even though I think they did catch up the ground with the Series X, because it's obviously not like a terrible situation. Like, it's just getting to the point where they start having those conversations of, is it worth it when we could just be making these games, probably making good, you know, making money off of just making the games. And I think if, like, God forbid that happens and Xbox leaves the console market, they just want to make games for Nintendo and PlayStation and PC, which they have been putting a lot more Xbox exclusive just on PC. I have the hiccups. That it would create this bad type of monopoly with PlayStation basically just owning the console market. So I don't want it to happen, obviously. I have an Xbox, and like, part of me thought, you know, if this were to happen, oh fuck, I'd have the last Xbox console that they produce. That thing's probably gonna be worth something in 100 years. I mean, probably not, but you know, man can dream, huh? The worry thing is, like, I don't know how Xbox really pulls themselves out of this. And the conversation with Game Pass gets so interesting with the fact of, like, is it gonna go purely cloud-based and be able to be put on TVs and anything at that point? Or are they gonna have it like an app so you can put it on a PlayStation and make a deal with PlayStation in some way? And Nintendo and stuff like that, with only like certain games on Nintendo because of Switch. This whole thing has just been such a shitty cloud overhead of Xbox. And everyone that has an Xbox, like, it obviously is influencing me. I always figured that, like, how I went from 360 PS4 to the Xbox One, or Xbox, PlayStation, Xbox. I'll just go to PlayStation next and just miss Xbox for then. I have a PC now though, so I feel a lot safer about that. I do think something that Xbox kind of like needs to do before spring is at least talk about this, because I think as like the fans and all this speculation, like, it's a big thing. They should at least have some form of small statement about this. Obviously, I don't think they should be forced into explaining all of their future plans simply because it was leaked. Even though it wasn't leaked, it was just reported on. I think that that shouldn't be the case. I just think that they should have a small blip and be like, listen, we know what was said. Obviously, we've seen the reports. We just want to just say a blip of what's actually happening, not everything that's actually happening. I really do think that they just need to say something about this, because it's just snowballed so much online that people are genuinely fucking worried about the future of Xbox as an entire thing, and that if it's just going to be a game studio, essentially a third-party game studio that makes games for Nintendo and PlayStation. Do I think it's being blown out of proportion a bit? Absolutely. And the thing for Xbox that I think kind of always like has it in its own thing is PCs, because Sony doesn't make PCs. They haven't cared about PC for a long time. It's been only relatively recently that they've been putting out to their huge IPs onto PC, and even that, they wait like at least a year before they end up doing it, because they want you to buy a PlayStation, because they don't get nearly the return from putting it on PC than PlayStation. where Xbox is Microsoft, which PC blends into with Xbox. It changes it a bit. Does Microsoft tell Xbox, listen, the consoles aren't working, let's lean more into PC stuff and PC games? Because it seems like that market's actually growing. So I think that's where Xbox kind of has like its like safety net, is the PC market of their business and everything. You know, just it blends in with Microsoft and everything. Saying the fear, I don't think it's blown out of proportion as badly as it seems today, because the reports basically just came out and everyone's like, what the fuck? Xbox is not making consoles? They're putting Halo on PlayStation? I can play as Master Chief on PlayStation, which is really funny because when it was announced that Xbox bought Activision, the like funny joke I was seeing was like, oh, now Crash Bandicoot, who was like the mascot of PlayStation 1s and 2s, is now on / owned by Xbox. I don't know. Like, overall, I think it's just, I do think it's crazy, a little frightening for the overall scope of like consoles. Do I give a shit about console wars? No, I really don't. But obviously, I'm a little worried. I think it's blown out of proportion a bit. I want to hear from Xbox something, and I don't think I can come to like a big time conclusion until then. Obviously, I'm so happy with my Xbox. I was leaning towards PlayStation in the next like cycle anyways, just because of how I do things. Could this potentially like fully push it that way? I think it would, but who knows? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you play on, or if you're just a normal, like if you're just a PC bro and just play everything on PC and couldn't care less about all this nonsense and the fucking infighting you see on consoles. But that is going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. Consider subscribing. Helps the channel out a bunch. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.